Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den. What is it, Ian?
A show about record collecting by record
You're
collectors.
close. Well, it's close enough.
Words.
What he said.
I said words.
So this week we're going to talk about something that at least I've noticed a lot of people talking about lately, and that is the rising cost of vinyl records.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading an article, I don't know, probably about a week or so back that was talking about, I know eBay isn't an authoritative source on anything, but they were talking about how back in, it was 2007, they said that the cost of a new vinyl record through eBay was about $5. And those same new records in 2017 were just under $30. So it was about a 500% increase just in that, 10 years.
Well, the demand went up. I mean, that makes sense. Demand is going to raise cost, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know.
But when I got back into buying records, 2.5, 3 years ago, I could go to Dearborn Music, well, I'm wearing their shirt today. I could go to the record store and routinely find records for, under $20, say $19 to $22, $23, $24.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to find fewer and fewer of those. Now, if you're looking for a new record, it's going to be,
Closer to 30.
Yeah, mid to high 20s. And if it's a double EP, or LP, you're talking what, mid 30s to
40s.
$40?
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with demand, but you also have to take into account that I think manufacturing's taken a huge hit because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I think that could have a lot to do with prices going up recently.
But it's not really just a recent kind of thing.
I know, but it's a combination of things, I think.
Yeah. It just, because I know there's added cost. The price of, raw materials has gone up over the last, 10 to 15 years. I understand all that. It just, It seems like it's really been going up higher and higher at a really accelerated rate, really over the last year. And I noticed it really for Record Store Day.
Right.
When we went in Record Store Day in August, prices were pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And then I went in September, and there was probably a good 3 or 4 titles at least that I would have thought about getting if they weren't like ridiculously overpriced, I felt.
Right. Do you think they were overpriced based on what they were and what you were getting with them, or just because of gouging?
And I think it's probably a mixture of both. I'm sure.
Yeah. Because I didn't go to the last two. I only went to the August one, so I can't speculate on the new one. But
yeah. I felt like October was a little bit more reasonably priced.
Right.
There were a couple of things. There was a Maroon 5 7-inch. I don't remember how much they were charging for, but I remember looking at the price and I was like, I'm not a Maroon 5 fan at all, but there's no way in hell I was going to pay that kind of money for a 7-inch.
Right. The other thing I've taken into account is that over the last, say, 8 to 10 years, the demand for vinyl has increased exponentially every year, but they're not building any new pressing plants.
Yeah.
So you've got the same pressing plants that were around in 2007, 2010, 2012, and they're putting out 6 to 7 times the volume now that they would have had to before.
They're putting out more than that because there was a big pressing plant that burned down last year. So
so that's got to have a lot to do with the price going up.
I'm sure it's got some of it.
I would say it's even maybe the largest part of it. That would be my opinion, because you've got a small amount of places that can accommodate what is now an increased volume of demand.
Yeah,
it's just prices are gonna go up.
So I understand that record collecting is not a poor man's hobby. I do understand that. But I feel like with these rising costs, I'm starting to see more and more issues with a lot of new vinyl. I'm starting to see a lot more that have scuffs on them. They're scratched coming out of the packaging. Some of them I've seen have dimples in the actual vinyl. I'm seeing more that are warped. So so we're paying a premium for a product, but we're not getting a premium product in return.
Right.
And that's kind of the issue I have with it. I don't have an issue paying, $30, $35 for an album if it's worth that.
Right.
And that may be the issue I'm having.
Quality control will suffer too when you've got that kind of demand and that kind of volume.
I know the Oz
Coming in.
they had huge issues with the Ozzy album from last year. Was it, or was it this year?
Ordinary Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out in February of
Okay,
2020.
so beginning of this year. I know they had huge issues with those.
Well, I just got the regular black edition, so I don't know. Mine was fine. I've listened to it several times. And
Mine was too, but I know there's a lot of people.
Because you
online
got the
that
colored
issue.
version of that. Yeah, I didn't have any trouble with that one. So, I have had trouble. My Counting Crows, Somewhere into Wonderland. I bought it when it first came out. It's a little warped.
Yeah.
And it came out of the package that way. And my Flogging Molly, Speed of Light or Speed of Darkness. Speed of Darkness is the name of the album. Has a it's just a slight defect in the first, say, quarter-inch groove of the grooves. And of course, I got it when I didn't have a turntable, so I couldn't listen to it, and I obviously didn't take it out of the packaging until I bought my turntable, so that I couldn't replace it. And same with my Somewhere into Wonderland. I didn't get my turntable till a month after I bought it.
Yeah.
More than a month after I bought it. So
Yeah, but I'm definitely seeing some more of those issues. So I guess it's another thing to kind of throw into that pot of what could ultimately hurt the industry.
right. I honestly think. I mean, obviously not now, but because nobody knows what's going to be going on for the next, say, 5 to 6 months with the virus.
We don't know what's going to happen next week, let alone next
right.
year.
As far as just the world goes, but I would say that they really need to consider building more pressing plants.
Yeah.
Because I don't think vinyl's going anywhere.
No, it's not going to. Well, hopefully not.
I mean, it might plateau as far as demand goes, but I don't think that demand's going to shrink.
Yeah.
So they really do need to add some more pressing plants.
I think part of the issue, at least the way I look at it, is it seems like labels and artists are almost pushing, the public to see how much we're willing to pay for their music. And I know I don't blame record stores
Right.
for the cost, because I know they're paying more for their product also. They're just passing that cost along to the consumer.
I mean, their margins are probably the same. Their margins don't change.
They're just gonna charge
as
more
far as
for what they're
retail
paying.
goes, yeah, margins are pretty set in stone. So if prices are going up, that means they're paying more, in turn.
Yeah.
So I guess the real answer is we need something like what Best Buy did in the early '90s and come out and sell everything dirt cheap at a loss, and devalue everything, which that's not ideal.
This is not the first time that labels and artists and the industry in whole have done something like this. In the late '90s, I don't know if you remember this or not, but they jacked up the price of CDs. CDs went from being, $10, $11, $12 to being more like $16, $17, $18.
Right. Depending on where you bought them from.
Yes.
But yeah.
But I think a lot of that drive really pushed people towards things like Napster, LimeWire, looking for alternatives, because they weren't going to pay that outrageously high price for the product. And I think vinyl could be potentially going down that same hole.
Right. But see, the thing is there's nothing new, because people are still, you still got people are still stealing music relatively.
But that's why I'm starting to see.
But you got streaming services.
I'm starting to see more and more people at the store going through not record bins, but CD bins.
Right.
Because I can go buy a CD, which has relatively the same sound quality as a record, and I can get it for a fraction of the cost.
I think it depends on when the CD was manufactured. Early
Of course,
CDs.
there's always going to be variables in there. Absolutely.
Because those early days of CD were not great.
But I'm talking about new music though. If I'm going to pay $45 for a double LP, opposed to $16 for the CD, I think a lot of people could potentially look towards CDs as a replacement.
Possibly, but I don't know. For me personally, most of the time when a new record comes out, a new album comes out, it's on the streaming services, so I can listen to it. If I'm going to buy it, I'm going to buy it on vinyl no matter what. Yeah. Because it's the only way I'm going to buy it. I can listen to it I pay for a streaming service. Yeah. So if I want to listen to it, I can listen to it anytime I want. But if I want to own it, I'm gonna buy the vinyl. Yeah. So regardless of the cost. I just I may not buy it the day it comes out. I may have to wait several weeks to buy it because I have to save up for it or whatever.
Yeah. I know there was an artist who, I won't say their name, I don't want to give them publicity for it or anything, but they released a new album earlier this year. And the artist, I guess, went online and looked and see what their other albums were going for on the third-party market. Mm-hmm. And they listed their new album on their website for $77 because their albums were going for more out online. And I remember reading a comment about, so I guess someone had commented on, I don't remember if it was Twitter or somewhere on social media, to the artist about it. And the artist shot back and said something along the lines of, well, that's how much I value my music. And I think that's, when we start getting into things like that.
That's not true. He based his value of his music on the value of other people putting value on their music.
Yes.
So.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is I think...
Is it an artist I like?
No, it's not.
Nah, well.
It's not. And so I think once we start getting into those kind of issues, I know I bought the Real Big Fish. I bought their remaster that they put on their website for one of their older albums a couple months back. And brand new on their website, I want to say it was $45, which sounds like a lot. But when you look on Discogs and older pressings are going for $150.
Right.
You know, a lot of people pay that money, and it did sell out on their website. And that's the one thing I can say about the artist that was selling their album for $77 is they sold 1,200 copies of it like that.
Wow.
It sold out.
Well, so, that's probably more dangerous than just going to the store and saying, hey, these records are $10 plus more than what they were a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's worse if the artists themselves are charging, you know.
But I think that's where we start getting
three
issues.
times what it
when the artist starts saying, well, this is how much I value my music.
Well, that's just going to, the market will just collapse on itself.
And that's what I'm saying, is that I think that could be potentially where we go, is that it's an unsustainable market doing with tactics like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's all we got for this week, guys. Drop us a comment down below. Not a link. Drop us a comment down below.
Comment.
And,
not a link, Nick. Not a link. Comment.
Drop us a comment down below. I don't necessarily respond to all of them, but I definitely do. I respond to a fair share of them.
I respond when he tells me to respond.
Yeah, I say, hey, Ian, someone said something directly to you. Please go on and comment back to them.
Which I do. So I guess if you want to talk, if you want me to respond, which you probably don't, but if you do, just, mention me and he'll make
But anyway, drop a comment down below. Let us know what you guys think about the rising cost of vinyl and where you think it's going, or if you think we're completely wrong on this, which I like reading those comments too. So,
and he is probably wrong.
I'm normally right though. But anyway,
you're wrong about that.
Well, that's all I got. Definitely hit the like button down. Give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe button down below.
The notification bell.
Hit the little bell. Ding ding. Right. Well, that's all I got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Keep on spinning. Peace.